Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks for joining me again. My name is Chip Close. I live here in New York City, where I run a small digital media agency called Chip Close Creative. I work with brands and individuals to help them grow their online presence. Today, I'm going to talk about growing your Instagram following. Forget everything you've heard. I'm going to tell you the only 3 things you need to know. So stay put. Okay, so when we talk about growing an Instagram following, I want to be really clear here right at the top. There are no good shortcuts. So if you landed on this video just looking for some cheap tip or a trick that's going to get you to the front of the line without putting in the hard work, you can just keep finding another video, because that's not what this video is all about. This is about giving you the tools you need and making sure you understand how to build a good, solid, authentic following of rabid fans who are going to be really excited about what you're posting and what your brand is all about. The reason I say there are no good shortcuts is because there are ways out there to buy followers and buy likes, or to sign up for an Instagram bot and to grow your following, to inflate that. The Instagram bots were really big like 2, 3, 4 years ago. And then what happened is that Instagram is going by and shutting them down one by one by one. If you use them and you get caught, Instagram, you run the risk of Instagram shutting down your account. And you're just going to be banned. There's no way to turn it back on. There's no one you can call to plead your case and say, oh, I didn't know. Or they're just going to shut it down and you're going to have to start over from scratch. I think it's better to just do it right from the beginning. So the 3 things you need to worry about to really grow a passionate following are audience, consistency, and engagement. So your audience, get really clear about who you're speaking to. Let me give you an example. So let's say you're a food influencer, right? And you travel all over the world, going after the next great burger, or some big greasy pizza or a cheesesteak, right? You go off after all this like fatty comfort food, and it's delicious, right? The audience you're speaking to is they're other like-minded individuals, other foodies who also love to find the next great big thing. That's your audience, right? And the best feeds out there know exactly who they're speaking to, and then they don't deviate from that, right? So that being said, that leads us to number 2, consistency. So do not deviate. Be consistent in how frequently you post. Be consistent about the kind of content you post, and be consistent with the look and the tone of the feed. So the look of the photos and the tone in the captions. If you can be consistent with all of that, so that when people land on a page, they know it's your page. When they see a picture, a piece of content, they know it's yours because it's so clearly branded, right? And the third piece is the most important, and that's about engagement. So as social media managers, we track a whole series of metrics. The 4 most important ones that we track are impressions, reach, engagement, and followers. And most people out there really just get stuck on followers. How big's your following? Is it 1,000, 10,000, 100,000? And while that's important, right, having a big audience to speak to, I think even more important than that is engagement. Are they engaged? Are they passionate fans, passionate followers who want what you're putting up there? Oftentimes you'll see huge followings, right? They've got 100,000 followers, but only 200, 300 likes on a picture. The industry average is about 2 to 3% engagement per post. Some will be a little less, some will be a little more, based on the kind of content you're putting out there. But 0.5% or 1%, that's not really what we're looking for. So again, find your audience. Be consistent with the kind of stuff you put out there and how frequently you put it out there, and then engage. So when people post comments on your content, comment back, and don't just write back and say thanks or cool or glad you liked it. Engage, follow up with another question. Just like you're out and you have a real conversation, and people comment you on your dress or your shirt, right? You don't just say, oh, thanks. Often he's like, oh, thanks. I was thinking about I just got this last week, or this was a gift, or where I got it. Just the conversation unfolds from there. And so do the same thing, right? If somebody says, oh, really great shot. You say, oh, thanks. I actually tried this recipe 4 different ways and it didn't work, and I finally got it right here. I'm so glad you like it. Or, hey, do you want the recipe? Or, if you like this, you're also going to love that, or whatever it is. There's a million ways to engage, but don't just say thanks or cool or excellent or thumbs up or a heart. Engage in a way that furthers the conversation. You're trying to spark a dialogue and be social. That's the point of social media, right? So if we just want to, put an image up there that's going to attract people to our restaurant, that's a billboard. Just go get a billboard and put a beautiful picture of a steak up on the side of the road, and maybe some people will go get steak. But social media is about having conversations, about sparking a dialogue. So don't ignore that. Likewise, here's the flip side of that, right? You have to be an engaging member of your community. So Gary Vaynerchuk has this thing he calls the $1.80 rule, right? Or the $1.80 plan. If you Google it, you can type in Gary V $1.80 plan. You'll come up with it. But it basically says this: you should be engaging with the other prominent people in your niche, right? So if you're fine dining niche, you should be engaging and be a part of that community at large, right? If you run a yoga studio, you should be part of the yoga community at large. I'm not saying you have to formalize it in such a way, but you should be doing that. Every single day, set aside 10 or 15 minutes where you go and engage with the community on other people's content that's not your own. So go and like stuff that if you like it, comment on it. Again, spark a conversation. Don't just say cool shot. Ask a question. Push the conversation to go further. Or follow people. If you see an account that you like, that you think is closely aligned to yours, and you like what you see, follow them, and then tell them so. Right? Send them a DM and let them know that you like their content, you're following them, and you're all part of this community. Right? So again, audience, consistency, and engagement, that is the recipe for growing your Instagram following. And you're not going to get 1,000 followers a month, but you're probably going to get 100 really passionate followers each and every month. I hope that this has been helpful. If you have any further questions, put them in the comment section below. As always, on Friday we do a Facebook Live over at Chip Close Creative on Facebook. You can find me there. We're going to go dig a little bit deeper. This is just a little something to get started. Give it a try this week and let me know what you think. Let me see if you're seeing results. Again, we'll talk about this on Friday. Thanks a lot, guys.